It was a good Halloween evening on the island of Sodor. Zug was returning to the sheds. He was delivering a goods train from Vickerstown to Knapford. Then he'll be heading off to the sheds later that evening. He was exhausted after a long day's work, and he was looking forward to a rest in the sheds. But as he was crossing the viaduct, he suddenly stopped. "That's funny," he said. "Why am I on the viaduct? I should be on the other side by now." He waited until he heard something. "That's funny. Sounds like a whistle," he said. And he was right. It was an engine's whistle. But whose whistle it was? It sounded like his very own, but a little bit dark, a little toned down. He was getting nervous. Who's there?" he said. No reply. Okay, if this is a joke, haha, you win. Please, just come out, okay? Please, this isn't funny. Still, no reply. "Okay, show yourself," said Zug. "Why, Zug, do you know me?" "Who's there?" said Zug. "Alright, I'll tell you who I am." Then an engine came closer and closer to him. The engine was a shape just like his own, but different. Zug gasps. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The engine was a similar shape to his own, only it was painted dark black that matches the dark sky. It also had red lining and a hat similar to his, but only his hat was white with black lining. His lining was red, and it looked like he had a really terrible number 4. And his face. His pupils were white instead of black, and his eyeballs were black instead of white. And it had the name GRZ. "Hello there, Zug," said the engine. Zug was shocked. "Who are you, and what do you want?" he said. The engine smiled. "Why, Zug, don't you recognize me? I am you, from an alternate universe. But let me introduce myself. My name is Gus. I am from an alternate universe, a different timeline, so to speak." That got Zug really interested. "A different timeline, you say? Where?" "Oh, you know, a timeline where, let's say, the Z-Stacks are actually the good guys of the story, and the stars are the bad guys." "Oh, and there's also another one. I can't put my finger on it. Oh, yes. Like, you know, like characters, like, imagine like characters from the Flower Scout, like Camp characters. The Flower Scouts and the Wood Scouts, they're all in Camp Campbell. And all that Camp Campbell boys are in the Wood Scouts. And the Flower Scouts are in the, well, the female Camp Campbell kids are the Flower Scouts, he said. "Okay, Go on, said Zug. He was actually kind of getting interested into it. I'm also in a timeline where diesels are outdated by steam engines. Nowadays, steam engines are running across the UK, if not the entire world. And diesel engines? Well, let's just say most of them have been withdrawn and scrapped, he said with an evil tone. I also came from another universe where one of your favourite films, Cars 2, was a huge success, he said. Zug was really interested. Okay, you just come all this way just to say, your alternate universe sounds more interesting and you're convincing me to go to your universe? He said. Oh, no, Zug, said Guz. I'm not here to tell you you should come to my universe. More like, I'm going to take over yours. Wait, what? You can't do that. That's impossible. Nothing's impossible, Zug, and you know it. Why, I basically came all this way from my universe to yours, and I came with a mission to ask you a favour. Okay then, what is it? Said Zug. Well, I ask you the biggest question, an offer you cannot refuse. The reason why I came to your universe is that I'm going to take over the world. Now you see, how am I going to do it? So what's my goals actually? Well, let's say like Cars 2 for example. It was a good movie. It could have been more. But he paused. And then he continued. Well, the critics never liked the film because they think the film can't have a secondary character as a main role, even though there are films that did that way before and still do it to this very day. No one understands good movies anymore. And now, because of this led the critics to brainwash nearly every single person. Now nearly every single person hates the movie, and I still don't get why. He rolled his eyes. That's why. That is one of my main goals, he said. And another thing, he said, you know that total drama ship that people kind of don't like? Which one? Asked Zug. You know, Duncan x Gwen. I'm gonna be honest, I actually love that ship. Like, it's not one of my favorites, like, it may be on my top 20 ships, but no one sees Trooper U. Like, some people do, but some people rather ship Gwen with Trent, which is fine, I guess. And Duncan with Courtney. I hate Courtney. Worst of all, Courtney was more toxic to Duncan, and not everyone believes that. Worst of all, they could have had a much better relationship if it wasn't for Fresh TV being the stupid animation company that it is, basically ruins their original characters by wrecking them. And then they create a stupid season which is All Stars and ruin the entire fandom. Make Gwen really want to be friends with Courtney, and Duncan an idiot. I want to go back in time and destroy All Stars and get rid of it once and for all. He said, and then I'll make people believe Duncan X Gwen was really truly was the ship that should have been canon in the first place. And I'm also want to do one thing. Speaking of Courtney, I want to kill her, like, get rid of her character, erase her from existence, because what she caused to do to my boy Ezekiel. Ezekiel was meant to live on for at least, like, in the show for at least a few more episodes, but the writers have to make him say that offensive stuff about women, and now he's sort of a zombie-ish, and I just that's why I came into this world, your real world, because my world technically doesn't exist. And this is why I ask you to join me. Together, we will take over the entire world, make people believe the true reason. So, Zug, I'm gonna ask you, are you in or out? Well, Gus, some of your intentions is sort of good, like getting rid of All Stars, and if I was crazy and a lunatic like you, I would actually immediately join you, but I don't want to hurt people, I just don't want to hurt them at all. Oh, so you're willing to let your fair things never come to light? Like Cars 2 not being a film that should have been good, or Duncan X Gwen be the best total drama ship of all time? You don't want anything to happen? Well, I would like that, but not through violence. What are you talking about? Violence is always the answer, and you know it. No, it's not. And plus, wouldn't violence, cost you your actions? No, it's not, you idiot. Blast! I was afraid of this. You won't help me. Well, in that case, I guess I'll have to go to plan B. Taking your world by force! What? Are you crazy? You can't do that. That's insane. Zug, zug, zug. I do not care. I will not stop until I get what I want by taking your world over and showing the world the real power. Since I couldn't convince you to join me, I guess you'll have to suffer the consequences, traitor. Well, sucks to be you, because, well, it's not Halloween anymore. The sun is rising. Blast! How do you know I cannot come out? I can only come out on Halloween night. Simple. Plot convenience, said Zug. Ugh. That means I have to come back next year. And when I do, I'm bringing in an army. All my minions will come, and we will take over the world. Just you wait, Zug. And then you will be left to rot in a scrapyard where you belong. Well, if I'm still around, that's not gonna happen, Guz. And just before you go, I just have two things to say, actually. One, where you from? Oh, simple. I escaped your mind. I am your dark side, by the way. I guess I forgot to mention that. Okay, that explains why you look similar. And two, why'd your eyeballs black, but your pupils are white? Well, let me think. Oh, I don't know, right? Anyways, you made your choice. Now I must leave. See you around, traitor. And with that, Gus returned to the shadows, followed by a whistle. After Gus disappeared, Zug was worried. What if he comes back? He said. Nah, probably never happened, said Zug. And with that, he went home to Knapford Station. Knapford Yards. The end.